It's 2024, the big two foe. And when I really think about it, the year isn't over yet. And honestly, I think I could chalk this up to being WWE's best year of all time. Now, before y'all attitude era remarks and y'all ruthless aggression glazers come at me, really take a moment to think about it. Through these 8 months of WWE, they've given us some of the best television, the best quality of all time. But it's not just that, it's the way they're listening to the fans, it's the way that they're changing the product. It's the new entrances, the new camera angles. They're doing so many new things this year, and I don't know. I might just glaze WWE a little bit. Because today I'm here to tell you why I think that 2024 is WWE's best year ever. And the year ain't even over. That's crazy. There are many, 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 many reasons this year why WWE is at its peak. But I think one reason in particular has to be talked about first. And that's the fact that they've reached a deal with Netflix to bring Raw, their PLEs, and if you're international, to bring everything to Netflix in 2025. I don't think y'all understand how huge that is. WWE will be going from cable TV that's, slowly falling off the hinges every year to Netflix, one of the biggest streaming apps of all time, the streaming app. If you think that WWE is big now, wait till the middle of next year when WWE is going to be global, everywhere, where people can watch it whenever they want, when they don't have to come off of work and watch it on their DVR save. They can come home, restart it from the point, wherever they want to, and they can still be caught up. That's crazy. I know the people on the West Coast are really going to appreciate it too, considering WWE starts at 7, 8. For them, it's like 5. They don't get it yet. They're getting spoiled out the wazoo. Not to mention the fact that they got $10 billion from it. Damn. Big bag. It might be 5 billion. I'm fact check me on it. I don't know. But either way, what I'm saying is WWE is going to grow by an exponential margin next year, and it's all going to come from the fact that they are going to be streaming on Netflix. That's insane. But we got to be transparent about the Netflix deal because, if you aren't international, it does kind of suck a little bit because PLEs will still be on Peacock till 2026, even though Peacock is cheap as hell, $5. I don't even realize I pay it every month. I'm not going to lie. And SmackDown's still going to be on cable, so that's going to be a little annoying, but it is what it is. I think it's till 2029, which is crazy. Next up, and something I think WWE fans are really, really, really starting to come to terms with and appreciate, instead of the instant gratification, the complete and utter opposite of slow and steady approach, WWE has finally committed to long-term storytelling. Honestly, this is huge, considering WWE is 12 months, pretty much no break. I mean, I know they have like a little dull period during December, but it's pretty much 12 months, no break. This is a huge way to keep you intrigued in every single week of WWE storytelling. I know sometimes it can get a little repetitive and it get a little irritating with, how slow they go, but it's always worth it at the end. If there's one thing about Triple H, he always nails the ending of these stories or the big moments of these stories. Just look at Rhea Ripley, getting turned on by Dominic. That took months and months and months, and Rhea wasn't even there half the time, but that moment where she got turned on hit. Think about Solo Sikoa turning on Jimmy Uso and beating his own brother's ass. Beat the shit out of him. He still hasn't been seen on TV. Where is Jimmy Uso? Missing in action, MIA. Beating up Paul Heyman, beating up the Wise Man, and creating his new version of the Bloodline after, it was teased for months and months and months with him looking at the Ula something, whatever it's called. I forget. Even now, he's still cutting up for the long term because, Austin Theory is slowly but surely turning face. But one thing about Triple H, he's going to do it just to do it if he doesn't got a plan. He's going to wait for the right moment for it to hit the most for it to happen. And I think the next big thing is going to be that Austin Theory face turn. It's going to hit like crack in the 80s, man. I mean, we got Seth, Punk, and Drew. The whole Bloodline saga. The Rhea Ripley Judgment Day saga. Those are 3 of the biggest storylines of WWE, and they have been spanning for months upon months upon months. And it's been enjoyable throughout. Long-term storytelling is king at the end of the day. Simple. We could use a here and there, instant gratification, like, the Karrion Kross story. I mean, it's starting to build up a little bit more now, but it wouldn't have hurt. That's all I'm saying. But I think that long-term storytelling is going to do great things for the WWE for the long run. Another major thing that WWE's done this year is created new stars. Think about the likes of Cody Rhodes, who is already a star, but now he's mega. He's main star. He is everywhere. He's on Complex doing shoot tutorials. He's getting comparisons to Joe Burrow, one of the biggest NFL stars. Cody Rhodes is everywhere. You could even say somebody like Roman Reigns, who was already one of the biggest stars in WWE. Yes, I get it. But now he's one of the biggest faces. He is the face of WWE now. Think about the likes of Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker was just on NXT a few months ago, and now he is the Intercontinental Champion. Everybody's barking with him. He is going to be one of the biggest faces in WWE for the next 10, 15 years. Think about Damian Priest. He went from borderline mid-carder to being a main eventer who is going to stay in the main event and be comparable to the likes of The Undertaker. Even think about somebody like Jacob Fatu. He came in and he made his impact immediately, beating up Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes, three of the biggest baby faces on Friday Night SmackDown. And now everybody's intrigued in seeing Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns. Not Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa, but Jacob Fatu. And these are just the few people that WWE's given chances to this year, and it's worked out tremendously. WWE's going to keep doing it. The iron's going to keep churning. They're going to keep creating stars, and y'all going to keep watching. That might be a little underrated. That might be a little underrated. Is they're going international with the PLEs. Now, I'm from America, Chicago, baby. So, WWE comes here probably a few times a year. There's at least a Monday Night Raw and a SmackDown in Chicago on TV, and then they do a bunch of house shows. But think about the likes of this month, Germany. France went crazy. Puerto Rico last year. WWE's been doing their damnness to go out and beyond places that don't normally get wrestling shows, and it's working out for their favor. I mean, the France crowd was the best crowd I have ever seen in a WWE history, hands down. Puerto Rico's it's up there too. I mean, we've seen some of the best crowds this year. I ain't sleep on America, but sometimes us Americans take things for granted. Let's keep it a band. But those international crowds that probably won't get another PLE, another house show for a year, they ain't gonna take it for granted. And to think, there's still other places that they could go to. Like, I could see a pay per view happening in Italy, in Japan. They could go back to Puerto Rico, Mexico City. There's so many places the WWE has yet to have a pay per view in, a PLE. I keep calling it pay per view, PLE, that they're probably going to go to it either next year or within the next few years. And it's going to be insane. More insane crowds. Everybody's happy. And they're getting it even more international. If you know what I'm saying. Also, WWE is just finally listening to what the fans want. There were so many years where Vince McMahon was just doing what he felt like he wanted to do. He was being an old, stubborn man who's a fucking weirdo at the end of the day. Simple. Who was just trying to get things to go the way that he envisioned in his tiny, feeble brain that is clearly stuck in the 90s. We done with the 90s! Trying to push Roman Reigns down our throat again and again and again. Trying to put Brock Lesnar as champion again and again and again. Like, that shit was getting old. Triple H has a nice balance of, giving us what us fans want while also not budging on his long-term storytelling, which is, I think, is a great balance. And they've been doing a pretty solid job at it so far. Now, everything can't be perfect. It's wrestling at the end of the day. It's a 3-hour show and a 2-hour show. Like, not everything is going to be perfect, but I think it's pretty damn close to that. You could also mention things like the NXT system and how it's been going crazy, creating stars like Mello, Trick Williams, Braun Breaker, Oba Femi. You can keep going on and on and on. You could talk about the quality of matches, but there's always going to be some banger WWE matches. Simple. Hell, you can even talk about the fact that these international crowds are making these B pay-per-views feel must-watch TV every single time. Just earlier today, I saw that WWE now allows wrestlers to request off time, like through an app, like, us average job workers do. Like, that's awesome. Wrestlers should be able to get time off. I mean, they're putting their bodies on the line week in and week out for our entertainment. It's crazy. They do not get as much respect as they deserve. I mean, Triple H is giving the month of December, for the most part, the holidays, the big holidays, giving the wrestlers time to be with their families, because they probably don't get a lot of time to be with their families all year. That is awesome. I just think it's awesome how WWE and Triple H, who, was a wrestler himself, who was in the grind, decided to, remember that wrestlers are human, not machines, and decides to give them time off, let them rest, let them be with their families, let them be human outside of wrestling, which I think is awesome. There's a bunch of other stuff, like the fan interactions are getting better. WWE's getting more like mainstream, like on ESPN and stuff like that, thanks to Pat McAfee. But these are just a few reasons that I could think of, at the top of the crimson. You feel what I'm saying? Of why I think that WWE is in its best year yet. And the year isn't over. We still got Survivor Series. We're cooking. Do y'all think I'm tripping? Is this not the best year of WWE? What do you think is the best year of WWE? I think another contender is 2016. They were having bangers in 2016, man. SmackDown Live was banging. It was cooking. But yeah, man. That's all I got for y'all today. Like the video, share the video, subscribe. I know you want to subscribe. I know you want to subscribe. And yeah, man. I'm out. Peace.